Discipline is what sets apart an ordinary person from an extraordinary one. The ability to go beyond others and have discipline is very complicated. It requires practice and tricking your brain. Because as humans, we have a primitive instinct that leads us to seek dopamine, a substance generated in our brain that gives us a feeling of pleasure. This makes sense because our brain rewards us with pleasure when we perform actions that are favorable for us, such as eating when we are hungry, drinking when we are thirsty, or reproducing to pass on our genes. Dopamine allowed humans to progress, but it has a unique problem: it is addictive. We are not perfect machines, we have our flaws. For example, we age and die. In the case of dopamine, it is responsible for dependencies like social media addiction, video game addiction, or drug addiction. We have found ways to make our brain generate dopamine quickly and effortlessly, an instant gratification. The current world is full of stimuli that awaken our instant gratification, and this is a problem. Most of the things that provide us with instant gratification contribute nothing to us, they only provide pleasure. Our brain no longer generates dopamine when we perform actions that truly benefit us as individuals. Now it generates dopamine solely to seek pleasure. Once that need is satisfied, we no longer have incentives to perform actions that truly benefit us, especially if they require effort. This is the biggest problem of current society. People have forgotten the feeling of satisfaction after achieving something through effort. Why should I make an effort if I can feel good without it? Throughout your life, you have probably experienced the frustration of wanting to do something, like exercising or starting a new project. Initially, when you are motivated, everything goes well. But as soon as the motivation disappears, you can no longer continue. This is a lack of discipline. You have the idea of having a fit body, so you decide to join the gym and go every day. In the first week, you don't miss a single day because you are motivated. But during the second week, when you feel tired, you think, "I'll go tomorrow, I'll rest today." And the next day, the same thing happens, and the next day too. How do you solve this problem in a society that rewards instant gratification? How can I discipline myself to achieve what I set out to do, even on days when motivation is lacking? We have the example of Miyamoto Musashi. Even though he was not a historical philosopher, we can learn a lot from his life and philosophy and apply them in our own lives to become more disciplined. Before we continue, I would appreciate it if you left a like because it helps me spread this philosophy to more people. If you don't want to miss any videos, subscribe, and also follow me on my other social networks. The link is in the video description. Miyamoto Musashi was a samurai born in Japan in 1584. Since he was young, he wanted to become the best swordsman in all of Japan. So, he trained hard and traveled throughout the country, training and facing the best duelists of the time. They say he fought in more than 60 duels and never lost. In many cases, he fought against multiple enemies at once, so he learned to use a sword in each hand. He was also a philosopher and wrote several books, including the Book of Five Rings, where he captured all of his philosophy and his path based on discipline to become the best warrior in Japan. His life philosophy can be summarized in these 4 points. Reject desire. Musashi avoided doing things solely because they brought pleasure. He believed that this would make him weak and undisciplined. By rejecting desire, meaning instant gratification, the only way his brain could generate dopamine was through effort and achievement. For example, when he defeated an opponent in a duel or finished a sword training session, he tricked his brain into believing that effort was the only way to feel good. In this way, if he wanted to feel good, the only thing he could do was work hard. Musashi knew that greatness had a price, and he needed to pay it, no matter how difficult it was. Time well spent, Musashi said, time is well spent when you do something with a valuable purpose, and nothing compares to that feeling. Focus on mastering one skill at a time. Musashi believed that mastering one art could open 1,000 different paths. He decided to master the art of the sword by working tirelessly, constantly pushing his limits. His skill opened many opportunities for him throughout his life. Focus on mastering one skill instead of trying several things at once. Often, the motivation to do many things at once can result in not completing any of them. It's easier to be disciplined with one task, and once that task becomes part of our daily routine, we can move on to the next. This way, we build a habit and no longer depend on motivation to do what we need to do. Progress step by step. Musashi constantly reminded himself never to abandon the path. Like any human being pursuing a goal, he had moments of doubt. If we have a clear goal, we need to focus and be patient. The key is to be sure of what we are doing, pause, and think. Are we truly committed to our goal and willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to achieve it? With a clear idea, combining patience and focus on what needs to be done, sooner or later, you will achieve what you set out to do. This is the formula for discipline, living with honor. Live with honor, Musashi followed the principles of Bushido, the way of the warrior. Bushido consisted of a set of conduct rules for samurais, comprising 7 virtues: honor, respect, integrity, honesty, courage, compassion, and loyalty. Among these 7 virtues, honor was the most important. In Bushido, honor is self-respect. If you respect yourself, you behave with honesty, respect, integrity, courage, compassion, and loyalty. Acting with honor also implies not cheating or seeking shortcuts in life or choosing the easy path. If you respect yourself, you do not act like someone who needs instant gratification or is incapable of making an effort. If you respect yourself, you know what you are capable of, and you do not give up working day after day toward a goal. By behaving with honor, you become disciplined. What do you think of Miyamoto Musashi's philosophy? I look forward to your response in the comments. It's important to note that we are not perfect, and we will often fail when trying to be disciplined. We need to be realistic and understand that things may not happen as we want. We will make mistakes quickly. It's important that when we deviate from the path, we return to it, no matter how many times we deviate, and do it quickly. Over time, we will deviate less frequently. Train your discipline like Musashi trained with his swords. Be consistent, make an effort. If you live without working on your discipline, try doing something challenging or unpleasant for yourself at least once a day. I hope this video helps you achieve your goals. Thank you for watching until the end. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Below, I leave 2 videos full of historical wisdom for you. Until next time.